I just stop waving your hand about. It's an auction. It's a clue. Yeah.
Just 24,000 miles from new and up for no reserve. The colour is great, but the finish is really awful. Just 11,000 miles from you and husband and wife owned, and that's it. Hi, welcome back to the channel and another one of our auction review videos. Yes, I know we've had a few recently, but it's a case, it's midsummer and they want to get these auctions done before everyone disappears off on their holidays. But this one's quite interesting. It's another Charterhouse auction back here at Haynes, and we've got quite a lot of no reserve cars, so they're definitely going to get a sale. And one car that I've really got interested in is that green Jaguar down there. Really original car, in storage for about 25 years and had a really sympathetic recommissioning. So that's going to be one we're going to watch through. And the other one is just coming up, this yellow Beetle here. That again is another no reserve car. It's been off the road since I think 1984, very low ownership, only 24,000 miles and in really, really stunning condition. So we're going to watch that one through. So keep watching, let's see how we got on. If the Mercedes SL that went for over 70,000 at the recent Door and Reese auction we covered was a bit too much for you, how about this for a bit of a cheaper one? This is a 1982 380 SL and it is not a bad looking car. The paint is a bit horrible. It was originally blue and the paint on the roof tells us that, and it's still registered as blue on the V5, but the paint on the colour's great, the finish is not good. It had a new hood back in 2008. Apparently it's got a good history file with it, runs and drives but does need some recommissioning. The last MOT expired on it in December 15. Okay, it would have become exempt from MOTs in 2023, but it's going to need a little bit of love before you put it back on the road. The owner's had it for 10 years, which is not a bad sign, but obviously it's not been on the road for an awful lot of that. Estimate wise, £5,000 to £7,000. You're not going to find a much cheaper Panzer wagon that's running and driving than this one. But hey, let's see what the auctioneer got for it.
3,000 is bid. I have 3,000, 3,2, 3,2, 3,2, 3,4, 3,6, 3,8, 4,000, 4,2. At 4,2 I have now at 4,2, at 4,002 here with us, just with us, and it stays with us at 4,2. We'll see if we can do something.
I'll be honest with you, this Mini wasn't one of the cars I researched prior to coming to do this preview, and it caught my eye mainly because of the barn find dust, and it just looked sort of honest really, and I thought there must be a story with this, and there is. It's effectively one owner from new. It's gone from husband to wife. It's done just 11,072 miles from new, and it's remarkably original. Down to the blue vinyl interior, looks, you know, like you're looking in a British Leyland dealership back in the 1970s. This one dates from 1977. It's the 850 engine, and it's been so well preserved because it had a wax oil treatment, basically I believe from new, and you know, where are you going to find another one? And the great thing is it's being sold with no reserve, so it's going to sell. It's just how much people are prepared to bid. And as I often say, cars like this are the ones that are still doing strong money, because where are you going to find another one so original, so honest as this? It could be £5,000 to £6,000. It could nudge five figures, who knows? But only the auctioneer will find out. So let's see how he got on.
Straight in here at £5,000 I have bid, and it's a no reserve vehicle. 5.2, 5.5. At 5.5 I have bid. Internet is out now. 5,500 I have. 5.8, 6,000. Commission at 6,000. Commission at 6,000. Versus.com here. 6.2, 6.5, 6.8, 7,000. 7.2, 7.5, 7.8, 8,000. 8.2, 8.5, 8.8. 9,000, 9,2, 9,5, 9,8, 10,500. Now's the time to bid again. 10,500. The commission bid is out. It's your bid, sir, in the room at £10,500. I'm looking for 11,000 now. I'm at £10,500 now. At £10,500. That's your bid, sir, in the black T-shirt, and I will sell it. The hammers are last chance if I sell at 10,500. Well done, 10,000.
Now when we talk about barn finds, we normally think of lots of dust and quite probably lots of rust. this one is something completely different. This car has been off the road since 1984, and as you obviously see, it's a 1303 Beetle, so it means a little bit later model. It's got the curved screen, it's got those big chunky, I think they call them elephant foot rear lights. This is in absolutely amazing condition. It's done 24,000 miles, and it's just absolutely brilliant. You look under the floor pans, you look in the wheel arches, it's just spot on. It's got a fully stamped service book up to 18,000 miles. Back in those good old days, when, do you remember when we used to have cars serviced every 3,000 miles? And it's just spot on. No attempt has been made to start it. It's been in storage for quite a few years, but it can't be anything complicated to go wrong. It's a Beetle, you know, the engines are almost clockwork, aren't they? And this is obviously quite a late one for the UK, because, you know, 74 the original or very early Golfs came in, and this is a 75 car. And the great thing about this one is in for no reserve. So for my problem is I've got to decide what I think it's going to go for. Don't know. I think there's been a lot of interest in this one. Could be 5, 6, 7. Don't know. Let's see what happens.
£9,000 now. The internet is out at £9,000, 9,002, 9,005. The internet versus the commission bid at 9,005, 9,008, at 9,008, at £9,800, and I will 10,000, 11,000 bid, straight back in at 11,000, at £11,000 still on commission. The room is out of that, but we thank you. The telephones are out, we thank you. It's £11,000 here. It is a commission bid at £11,000. The hammer is up and I will sell it. I sell here, last chance, fair warning, selling away at £11,000, and I sell 11,000. Well done.
I think this one could be a bit of a bargain if you fancy a Lotus. Cheap way into Lotus ownership. It's a 91 Lotus Elan SE, and of course this was the time when GM were owning Lotus. I believe it's the only front wheel drive Lotus. I'm sure someone might correct me if I'm wrong. It's got a 1600cc Isuzu engine, and of course it came out, it was a bit of a competitor to the MX-5, but obviously the MX-5 did quite a lot better. This one itself's done 93,000 miles, but its last MOT expired 12 years ago, 2013, so it has been off the road for a little while. It does look remarkably good condition. Obviously these fiberglass bodies do hold up really well. Obviously with that time off the road, it's going to require a bit of recommissioning, but I think this has got to be a really sort of economical way into Lotus ownership, because I don't think you're going to spend a massive amount on it, but who knows, it's a Lotus. Estimate wise, £2,000 to £3,000. Yeah, it should do that surely. I don't know, let's find out.
At £1,700 I bid. All we can do is 1,800 in the room. Thank you, sir. 1,800. Like a ninja, that wasn't it? At £1,800 away now. It's a room bid. At £1,800 away. We can submit this on 1,900. 2,000 is bid. The reserve is off. The reserve is off at 2,000. I'll take 100. At £2,000, the reserve is off. The car is for sale. I will sell it now. It's in the room at £2,000. I'll take a 100 where? At £2,000 now. Fair warning, 2001. Bid, 2-2 in the room. 2-2 in the room. 2-3 if you will now, please. It's at 2-2 in the room. £2,200 now. The hammer is up at 2,002, and I will sell it. Selling at 2,200. Thank you.
You'll go a long way to find a Jaguar as honest as this one. It is a 1960 XK150 fixed head coupe, and it to me is just glorious. It was one of the last 135 fixed head coupes to leave the factory, and of course the year later the E-Type came out and replaced this model. It was stored between 1991 and 2013 in a sort of collector's barn, not sort of just ignored, but still looked after, and then was taken out and has been given a really sympathetic recommissioning. And you know, find an unrestored one of these that looks as honest. You look at the leather on the seats and it looks just right. It doesn't look like it's just been restored. It's got a nice addition. It's got switchable electronic power steering, so when you're in those car parks or in the showground trying to manoeuvre it, that's an ideal little helping hand. It's got a really big history file with it. It's just ready to go, you know. It's just a great, honest, lovely car. Guide wise, 38 to 42,000 pound. A friend of mine had to sell one sadly from a deceased estate a little while ago, and it was around that kind of money, so I think with this one, with its, you know, honesty, I think it's going to do really well. But it's not up to me, it's up to the bidders.
£30,000, I'll take 1,000 where? £30,000, I'll take 1,000 where now? 31,000, 32,000, 33,000. At £33,000 I have bid now. At £33,000 I have bid away now. I'm looking for 34 now. I'm at £33,000 I have bid. Here with me. I'm at 34,000. At 34,000. It stays with us, I'm afraid, at £34,000. With us at 34. And that's just with us now. If you are, please do come and have a chat with us afterwards, please.
If you know what this is without having to research it, I'll be very surprised. I didn't have a clue. It is a 1966 Matra DJET V, and I think it's quite a pretty little thing. From certain angles, I think it looks a bit Ferrari 250 GTO, maybe. Other angles, Alpine A110. History behind this car: it was originally a car manufactured by Rene Bonnet. They did about 200 over the first 2 years of production, got into financial trouble. Typical story, small sports car manufacturer, got taken over by Matra, who then put out around about another 1,500 of these. Power wise, it's got a Renault 1108cc engine mid-mounted from the Renault 8, driving the rear wheels. And the amazing thing is, according to Wikipedia, yeah I know, it's Wikipedia, this is the first mid-mounted or mid-engine mounted rear-engined sports car. Don't know, let's find out. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. Interest spec wise, it only weighs 600 kilos and has got discs all the way round, which for, you know, a mid-60s car is quite impressive. Sadly, it comes from a deceased estate. Obviously it's an import, so it's left-hand drive, and it was registered in the UK in 2011. And it's coming up with no reserve, so I think there's quite an opportunity here. The only big downside I can see is the paintwork is quite micro blistered all the way over, so that is going to really take some attention to sort out. But apart from that, you go to a show, nobody else is going to turn up with another one of these, are they? Anyway, let's see how the auctioneer got on with it.
7.5. 7.8, 7.8, 8,000. 2 bids coming. 8.2, sir. 8.2. 8.5. 8.8. 9,000. 9.2. 9.5. 9.8. 10,000. 11,000. 12,000. 13,000. 14,000. Find another, as we like to say. At 14,000, I'll take 500 if it helps. I'll treat everyone the same. At £14,000 I have bid. The bid is on Easy Live. It's a UK bid at £14,000. The room is out, but we thank you. .com is out, and I sell it here. Hammers up, and I sell last chance at £14,000. 506.
Well, we saw that Beetle earlier, and of course the successor to the Beetle, as I mentioned, was the Volkswagen Golf, and this one screams mid-1980s. 1987 Golf GTI convertible, and it's in what they call triple white, and obviously white paint, white roof, white-ish interior. This one does look in very good condition. It's done 128,000 miles, and it looks like it's been loved because it's been MOT basically every year. It's got a current MO3 through to May 2026. The only thing I'd say is it's guided 7.5 to 8.5, and the old adage used to be when the roof goes down the price goes up, but as we know really with Golf GTIs, it's sort of the other way round, that people want the original hardtop ones, not the convertibles. So not sure on this one. I think it might struggle, but it's a sound car. I've had a look round underneath, but let's see how it got on when it went to auction.
Well, 5 is bid, thank you. 5,000 I have. At 5,000, 5.2, 5.5, at 5.5, at 5.8, easy 5.8, 6,000, thank you. 6,000 bid, at 6,000, at £6,000. The internet is out. It's our bid here. It is with us, and it looks like it was going to be staying with us for the time being. Here with us, any further advance, it stays with us at 6,000. Last chance at 6,000, and that's just with us for the time being.
Another in the you haven't seen one of these before category is this, a DKW F7 from 1937, and Is there any other ones of these in the UK? Probably unlikely. DKW, of course, were part of Auto Union from 1932 and become, you know, evolved effectively into the Audi company. And you see that by the 4 rings on the air filter under the bonnet. This was like a mid-range car, I suppose, back in Germany. This was refers to as the Meister class, which is master class car. Had a 2-cylinder 2-stroke engine and had 584cc and a whole mighty 20 brake horsepower. Of course, being an import, it's left-hand drive. It was UK registered in 2023, so you haven't got any obstacles to go through with that. It's had a £2,000 engine rebuild, and they were hoping to get this running before the auction, but unfortunately they haven't quite achieved that. You still see there's some hoses missing and so on under the bonnet, so that side of it's a little bit unknown. It's an interesting build. Obviously the front end's steel, but this is like a sort of fabric covered material at the back. Estimate wise, £2,500 to £3,500, and yeah, I think it probably should do that quirky little thing, use it for TV and film maybe. But anyway, let's see what the auctioneer achieved.
At £2,000 starter, anyone at all? At £2,000 away, start me at £1,500. At £1,500 away now. £1,500 is bid, thank you. At £1,500 I have bid. It's on easy line, but £1,500 I have now. I'm looking for 1,600 away. We're going to be submitting whatever, and I don't think you want to take it home either today. At £1,500 I have bid now. I'm at £1,500, which we're going to be submitting any further advance. I'm at £1,500. I'm sure he's going to say yes. Here, provisional bid at £1,500. It's 505.
Now, subscribers will know we always have a bit of a kit car moment at these auctions if we can, and if you're not a subscriber, please do click that button. It doesn't cost you anything and it really helps us here at the channel. Now, this is a 2006 Liege. If you're wondering why the registration doesn't match it would have been an age-related plate, based on the Reliant donor car that it was built from. So it's got the 850cc engine, and by the look at it, it's got the original Reliant dials and so on. This is sort of less kit car, more specialist motorsport. So this is for things like the Land's End Trial, where you see people trying to get up muddy and rocky tracks that you would never consider in a normal production car. It's got the specialist alloy wheels, and you know, it's a dedicated thing. If you're into that kind of sport, this is the kind of vehicle you're going to need. And there's, you know, 1 or 2 sort of other manufacturers. I think Tempest was another one possibly in the past. Estimate wise, £5,000 to £6,000. Yeah, it's probably about that. It might be just creep up to the bottom end of that, I think. It is a bit of a niche market, but hey, who knows? But we're going to find out.
I'm at £5,000. I have bid straight in here. No hesitation. At £5,000 I have bid now. At £5,000, £5,200, £5,500. Now's the time to bid again. The internet here at £5,500, and now is the time to bid again, if you will please. I'm at £5,500 and it goes now. It's an internet bid. The room is out, the phone is out, .com is out. It's this internet portal here. Hammers up and I sell, selling here at £5,500 and I sell 5,500.
Now here's a question for you. When does a car officially become a classic? This one's from 98, so what's that, 27 years old, and it's obviously a Ford Escort Si. Now it's only done 65,000 miles. It's been owned for a long period of time by the current owners, and they've got a full history with it. But when does it tip over? Of course, Escort, for a lot of people, they've forgotten the brand was even about. This one, it's only done 65,000 miles, so it's got to be a bit of interest for someone. It's up for £3,000 to £3,500. Gut instinct, think it's a little bit strong. I'm thinking more sort of 2.5-ish, but hey, I'm only guessing. Let's see what the bidders decided it was worth.
It's a rare car, the SI here. And where do you want to start? I'm going to start at 3,000, at 3,000, £2,000 and away now. At £2,000, £2,000 I have bid now. I'm at £2,000 I have bid. I'll take a 2-2 where now? I'm at £2,000 I have bid now. That's £2,000 and away now. Here with me at £2,000 now. I'll take a 2-2 where? We'll take a Desmond, we don't mind. Here with me at £2,000. No further advance, will stay with us then. Here stays with us at 2,000 and 2,000. And that stays with us, I'm sorry.
Well, that wraps up all the cars we're going to look at this time round at Charterhouse, and as ever, I'm very pleased to be joined by Richard Bromwell, the auctioneer who you saw in action earlier. So thank you.
Thank you.
And what my feelings were on that was this was actually quite a positive mood, and I think one of the big things I noticed was how well these no reserve cars did.
Everybody loves the idea of a no reserve Billy bargain.
I'm going to get it for 500 quid and off we go. Is that kind of...
This thing comes in, it's no reserve. I'm like, yeah, that's a really nice car.
Yeah. And it was a car, and I mean, you mentioned to me yesterday, get on the floor and look underneath. It was a car that was great from every angle.
Now, having been an auctioneer for 40 years, even I thought, if that brings 5 or 6 grand, it's no reserve. I could buy that. And then, of course, the reality is then it made a lot more.
Yeah. And another one that made a lot more was the Mini, and that was prepared slightly differently. The Beetle has obviously been given a very nice clean and preparation top and bottom, whereas the Mini came out fully sort of barn fine dust covered.
It's quite, you could see where the dusts had gone onto the drips had gone onto the dust and done a little bit of splash. No, I mean, that needed to be sold as a no reserve project. That's come from a good client over in the home counties. And it just was if anything, I think some of the dust was blown off when it was trailered here. But it's that no reserve idea that everybody, regardless of how sensible and mature we think we are, we still think that it might come in for 10p.
Well, carrying on with that thought, talk to me about reserves and estimates, because as we know, the comments section of the video is full of experts with years of knowledge and
keyboard warriors.
Correct. And there's a case of, like, if it falls below the estimate and doesn't sell, you've asked too much. If it goes way above the estimate, you don't know what you're talking about. Where do you come from, and where are the sort of the general rules to follow?
Well, good auctioneers belong to trade professional bodies, and there are actually laws in this country.
Really?
There are laws, yes. And the laws apply to auctioneers as well. So really, if you have a £10,000 reserve on something, that reserve should be reflected at the bottom end of the estimate. So you can have an estimate of, say, 10 to 15,000. What you should not do is have a reserve of £10,000 and put an estimate of 7,000 to 10,000, because you cannot, if you were to travel down from Scotland or up from Toulouse in the south of France and you've got an estimate of 7 to 10,000, you should be able to buy it for £7,000.
What's your advice to vendors of how, their granddad's car has got to be sold? How do you assess the value?
Well, when vehicles come to auction, we've got to have the conversation. Now, the no reserve way of moving forward, as we have seen today, can be hugely successful. But there is still an element of doubt that we're in the 1950s, and if you sell something with that reserve and no one turns up, then it will sell for 10 shekels. Of course, these days we have multiple online platforms, and people will have been bidding just because they thought the car was sort of sensibly priced, and they thought, well, actually that makes sense, I can have a bit of a stab at that. When dealing with a deceased estate, it's a question of getting that balance between what the client wants. Some people are happy and confident in going ahead with a no reserve. Some people need their hands holding a little bit more and just a little bit of guidance. Now, if they listen to the guidance of any good professional auctioneer, the car should sell anyhow, shouldn't it? Because if we think it's worth a 10 grand, we sort of say, well, we'll put in 8 to 12,000 and, it should end up within the parish of. There's no point in quoting £15,000 just to get the business in, because what you don't want to see is unsold cars. And
I guess that's the other thing, that argument between no reserve and putting an estimate. If you put an estimate, it might put people off even thinking about bidding, so they think, well, I'm not going to pay that much, and just don't even go. Where you come back full circle to where we start the conversation. If it's no reserve, well, if I chuck a bid in, I could win it for that.
So when we have vehicles without sold out reserve, we do not print estimates.
Okay, plug time. What have you got coming up next, Richard?
Well, we are still talking with a very interesting family at the moment. The parents have both gone into a home, and they have a little treasure trove. Dad was a professional mechanic, enjoyed restoring cars, restored MGAs, Austin Healey's, Jaguars, but obviously over time he's kept a few himself, and he's got about 20, 25 cars. We're still finding them. So there's a 1965 E-Type Roadster, 19,000 miles from new. Quite exciting.
Don't find many of those every day.
No. Filthy, dirty, dusty. I mean, it's proper filthy.
Probably proper quality barn dust.
Yeah.
And when is that likely to happen?
Well, we're still talking with the family because the family are scattered around the globe, but that should be happening in September.
That's great, and hopefully we'll be along to that one to have a look and tell you more about it. As ever, Richard, thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's busy, probably a little bit noisy in the background because obviously a lot of cars behind are going off to their new homes. Thank you as ever for watching, and we've enjoyed having you along for the ride, and if you've enjoyed it, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.